Well, good afternoon, everybody. From Minsk, всем привет, privatane. Well, so it's a rather grey and dull and cold Saturday afternoon right here in the center of Minsk. If you just look across from me there, that's the Philharmonic Hall, and if you remember the last time, that is the statue of Jakub Kolas. Indeed. Okay, but anyway, why are we here this Saturday afternoon? Well, yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I received the following message from a subscriber of mine. This one is from Mitch P, and he said, "I very much enjoy your videos, very educational." Thank you very much, Mitch. I for one have to say I am very surprised at how clean it looks in Minsk. I know there are probably shady areas in the city, but what I mean by that is that it always looks neat around the streets. Nothing seems to be in disrepair, with garbage everywhere. That is true, by the way. No matter where you go in Minsk, it's extremely clean, and it's also an extremely safe city. Now, I was told about some dodgy areas in Minsk, places like Serebranka and Shabani. And to be honest, I've already been to Serebranka and Shabani. I was there with Mr. Bald, and nobody said boo to me. Quite safe. Actually, if you walk in the center of Dublin City, for example, O'Connell Street, or anywhere off O'Connell Street like Abbey Street, Marlborough Street, Talbot Street, Parnell Street, yeah, it's quite dodgy, and at night time you're basically taking your life into your hands. Trust me, I've been there, I know all about it. But anyway, he also said, how difficult is it for someone who only speaks English to get around Minsk and interact with other residents? Okay, that's a very, very good question, and this is a question that I want to address today in this video. If you come to Belarus, anywhere, even in Minsk, you will need to know some working knowledge of Russian. That is quite important. That is it. To get around, even to do the most mundane of things, you will need a knowledge of Russian, because the chances are, high chances are, if you go into a store, a shop, to avail of a service, make a phone call, the person on the other end, or the person in front of you, will not be able to speak English. Okay, so that reminds me, guys, I need to get some things done today, because today is Saturday, and Saturday is a day to get things done. So let's go. Poyakili. Alright guys, I'm on Prospect Nezavisimosti, Independence Avenue, and the first thing I need to get is a pair of shoelaces, because on my right shoe I have odd shoelaces, brown and black. Okay, and if you can see there, about 100 yards ahead, that's the Stari Tradici restaurant. That's where I had the infamous potato pizza. Actually quite nice, by the way. Okay, let's go inside and let's get ourselves a pair of shoelaces. Добрый день. Да, еще черные шнурки, пожалуйста, у вас есть? Да, смотрите, у нас 3 глаза, да, в каждой стороне. 4. Да, 4, да, спасибо. Так, 4, что у нас есть? Либо черный, да? Черный, да, конечно. Так, либо так, еще есть вот такой, смотрите, какой лучше. Да. Это хорошо, да? Это все работает, да? Сколько стоит? Рубль 60. Да, возьмите. Да, спасибо большое. О, Alright guys, so bought a pair of shoelaces in Bell West, and it came to 1 ruble, 60 kopecks. That's approximately about, I don't know, about 50 cents when it comes to euros. Okay, so that's the first item done on the agenda. All right, now I need to start something a bit more serious out. Something that I use every day, and it's something that you need, especially when you don't drive a car like myself. Okay, let's go to the next place. Okay guys, right in front of me there is the Academia Nauk, otherwise known as the Academy of Sciences. Quite a big, impressive building, and was first built sometime around the mid-1930s, when all this area was practically in the countryside. Of course, right across from the Academy of Science is of course a KFC, which wasn't here back then. Okay, and there is the Oktyabr Cinema, where I watched many a film. Okay, so we're at the Academy of Sciences. I've just walked up from Plaza Jakub Kolas, right there, about a good 300-400 yards that way. And the reason why we're here, guys, is because, well, there's a metro station here, also called the Academy of Sciences, Academia Nauk. And at the beginning of every month, in order to get around Minsk, I always buy myself a fully inclusive package by presenting this card at any metro station. What you got to do is you got to get yourselves one of these. Okay, so if you get yourselves one of these, and you can get a fully inclusive package for public transport. Of course, you can buy a monthly ticket, a monthly card for, which is inclusive, by the way, for metro, trams, trolleybus, and of course, as the locals would say here, autobus. Comes from the French word autobus, of course. Oh, that's where I'm going to go right now, guys. At the beginning of this month, I completely forgot about renewing my card. It's expired, so I got to go back into the metro station and buy my monthly pass for public transport. Okay, let's go. Здравствуйте. Там пресс-плаката, да, 30 дней, пожалуйста. 30 дней. 30 дней. Да, от сегодня. Да. Да.
69,86.
Хорошо.
Весь транспорт с 21 по 19.
Без транспорт. Спасибо. До свидания. Die Academia Nauk. Выбачаюсь. So guys, this is Vostok. That was Vostok station, and Vostok means east in Russian, or in Belarusian, Ushod. We're only going to stop here for a short while because I want to show you something that I really like, and something that Mr. Bold has actually shown in a lot of his videos, and Minsk has some really good examples of these. So if you can see here, this is the Vostok region, the Vostok estate, and was built in the late 70s, just around the time of the Moscow Olympics. Wow, check out these beautiful Soviet murals. Not actually quite sure what they represent, but if you see here on the midway up, you can see that these are the soldiers of the Red Army, probably the partisans as well, synonymous with Belarusian history. Of course, that is Minsk, the landmarks of Minsk, right in front of me. And once upon a time, way back in 1984, when the Minsk metro was finally completed, Vostok was the last stop on the metro. They began the metro in Minsk back in 1977, and it took about 7 years to complete. They had to dig up the whole streets and even move some of the buildings in doing it. But anyway, speaking of murals, guys, Minsk is full of these old Soviet murals. Yeah. Before I leave Vostok, let's check out a few more. Check that out, guys. Another fine example of Soviet murals. I don't know if you can see it at the very, very top, but at the very, very top, way up there, there's a cosmonaut with SSSR, the USSR, the Soviet Union. Of course, this mural represents the scientific achievements, the educational achievements, and right in front of me here is a guy who I have featured on the channel before. That is Francis Scarina, the man who wrote the Bible in the Belarusian language way back sometime in the 16th century. Yeah. Okay. Enough Soviet mural hunting. Let's go to the last stop. Out this way. Let's get back on the metro. Here's a little tidbit for you guys. So, another reason why it's called Vostok is because Vostok was a name given to a series of rockets that the Soviet Union built in the 1960s and 70s. One of them, Vostok 1, got Yuri Gagarin, got the first man into space. And yeah, if you look at the ceiling, it's like the inside of a spacecraft. Quite imaginative. Okay, let's catch a train to Orucha. So anyway, guys, where was I before I was interrupted doing a lot of the mundane things that I normally do on a Saturday? And this is going to lead on to a topic that I want to address today, just a short topic, and it's kind of like a lead on to the very, very first video that I made on the channel, which is called, well, how did I end up in Belarus? And as you know, I'm an expat. I've been living and working here for the last number of years, and the change coming from Ireland to a country like Belarus was quite a big change in my life. And my advice to you guys is, if you get the chance, like myself, to move, to live and work abroad, to live and work in another culture, a culture that is rather different to your own, do it. I often get a lot of messages from you guys asking me for advice, people asking me, how can I do what you are doing? Well, if you are in the position, you can do it. Anybody can do it. On Facebook, I often take a look at some of the old posts that I made on Facebook, and in the memories from 10 years ago, I just looked at one post I made, a non-event post, and 10 years ago, if you would ask me that 10 years from now, in 2023, I would be living and working in Belarus, well, I would have thought that you were absolutely crazy. But my advice to you is this: if you are planning to be an expat, find a place to settle down, find a place to settle. I have met far too many expats, too many people who are restless. They don't know, they cannot find the place to settle. Now, why is this? I don't know, maybe the fact that they could be running away from a problem, as one guy I knew, or they don't know what to get in life. They arrive in a place and they get that hit. No, I'm in a new place, new people, new things to see. But 3 to 6 months down the line, they're off again. They're restless, they become bored of a place and they just move on. So my advice to you is, guys and ladies, if you have the opportunity to live and work and travel, do it. Because remember, you only have one life and one life only. That's it. The life of an expat, it can be both daunting and it can be both rewarding and fulfilled as well. Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, as you can see around me, it's kind of, we've had a bit of a mild period. All the snow has melted, and yet, to be honest, this time of the year, it's not exactly the most appealing. As you can see, it's grey, it's dull, it's cold. Yeah. All right. So, as I can see here across the distance, I see that it's going to rain. It's forecast to rain, so it's time to go back into the city centre. And let's get back on the metro and round it off for today. Well, folks, we've arrived back at where we started our journey off today, where I gave you a bit of an insight of a normal Saturday afternoon here in Minsk. And before I end it for today, I will leave you with this message. And this message appeared in the passport of the Kingdom of Yugoslavia, the same passport that the great scientist Nikola Tesla held. And yes, he did have a Yugoslav passport, in case anyone asks. So this is it, guys. On the road, behave decently and considerate to everyone, and especially to railway and ship staff, then to women and children. Be ready to disembark as soon as the ship arrives in the port. Let the clothes on you be clean and the suit neat and your face cheerful. In the new country, be serious and correct. Obey the laws and the authorities. Do not speak evil about that country. And don't forget about your own country. Do not accept a job that humiliates you too much. And do not work for a lower salary than other workers. Do not compete with other workers, but be in solidarity with them, so you will be respected and sought by workers and employers. Here's my favorite one. Don't get drunk and don't gamble. Finally, learn the language of the country where you are, because you will pass easier that way. But don't forget your mother tongue, and talk to your children only in your mother tongue, no matter if the children were born in an old neighborhood or in a new country. And now, good luck and see you again. Know that your fatherland will rejoice in your return. Well, some sound advice there from the Yugoslavs to all us expats. So I think we leave it at that for today, guys. It's getting dark here. I think it's going to rain for the evening. Yeah, I think I'll have a quiet Saturday night. I have a couple of cans of Alivaria Bella Zolota in the fridge. Have my own cheberek So, from Minsk, from Ploshad Jakub Kolas, it is Slongafol. Goodbye. Do svidania. I do popatrzenia. See you later, guys.